And welcome everybody to the Friday night Sleeperwire AMA. We are back after a prolonged hiatus. That is my big word for the day. I had to look it up prior to us.
You didn't nail it.
Shut up, Jason. Jason, don't interrupt the intro. God damn it.
We don't have an intro tonight.
I'm the intro. So as you can see,
if it doesn't get interrupted,
listen. It's like the tree in the woods. If the tree falls in the middle of the woods and nobody hears it, did it make a noise? Of course it did. Just because you didn't hear an intro doesn't mean there wasn't one. Okay. So anyway, welcome back to the AMA. I am your host, George. With me, as always, every other Friday night for the off season will be my partner in crime over there, Jason. Jason, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. It's great to do a show again. George, you just had major surgery.
Oh,
soon.
Major.
Soon you'll be transitioning. It's all good, man. I'm glad to be here.
The transition is almost complete. With me, we have a couple of guests with us tonight. First, we've got Josh from Fusion FFB. Josh, how are you doing this evening?
Doing great. Made it extra strong.
I would say, what are you drinking?
Dr. Pepper and rum.
Dr. Pepper and rum. You could have left the rum part out. I would have been highly impressed. Yeah, I'm just having Dr. Pepper.
It makes it last a little.
This is true. And then we also with us, we have Mike. Mike, how are you doing this evening?
What's up, George? How you doing, buddy?
I feel like, Mike, I've been avoiding you for, I don't know, the last few weeks of the football season. Because every time you came on to do the Sleeperwire show with us, like, I was not there for the Blitz specifically.
No, we noticed that, and that's why a lot of people won money those weeks, which was good. I noticed that ratings were up. Success rate was pretty high those weeks. And I know that the listeners I know personally that reached out to me appreciated it. And they were saying it would be great if I could just take your job. And I said if I didn't have my own website, I would have a while ago. So that worked out pretty well. So you're welcome for letting you stay because I have my own thing. But
I appreciate you allowing me to stay. I'll send you something. How's that?
Thanks, buddy.
All right, and also with us we have Justin from Toilets and Titles. Justin is another guy who he's talking with his hands. I don't think this is how it works.
I got
There's a hand.
Yeah,
where did that come from?
Is he being given a script to read? Or
Did somebody send him show notes? I object already.
Blink twice if you're being held hostage.
No. I mean, I don't want to try to sound big time or anything, but that's my camera guy trying to tell me that everything is not perfect. I'm like,
I could have told you that.
It is. It's just my face.
My camera guy fell asleep.
Typically, when somebody says, "I don't want to sound big time," but right, it's normally followed by them sounding big time. Am I right?
Big time follows.
I had to say that though because Josh made fun of me for on a previous show for getting too big or something. It's like it's not even my studio. Like I just have a friend that geeks out on this shit. So,
what's the hand's name?
His name is also Justin.
Well, that's confusing.
Okay. Hold on. Where's my flag? I need to throw it again. Fuck, I can't find it.
It's really just
anything. Throw anything.
On the flag again. Bullshit.
I missed the flag, so I don't know what that means, but
it's a bullshit flag.
It's a bullshit flag. Somebody here said that they were not ever vindictive and that they were nothing more than a giant teddy bear, and that was my bullshit.
I am though. I'm just nice.
We are already off the rails. I love it. So, gentlemen, I got a question for you. I went out to dinner tonight, and it made me come up with this question. And Justin, being that you are the one who came in last, I'll throw it to you first. How patient are you at a restaurant with regards to the wait time that it takes for you to get your food ordered?
I think it depends on how busy they are and how much time I have. I mean, if I'm at B-Dubs or a sports bar or something like that, I don't really give a shit. If I'm in the drive-through line at Steak and Shake, I already know it's going to take 45 minutes. or else I wouldn't go. You know.
Okay, so I'll throw it out there. This was at Buffalo Wild Wings, or not Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm sorry, I don't have a Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh.
It was at Beef O'Brady's, and they hold on one second. I'm going to add another superstar to our lineup. Welcome, Neil.
What up, guys?
So I love Neil and his little black light. Got to set the mood thing he's got going on over there. This is what we're competing with, gentlemen, right here. Justin in a professional studio and Neil setting a romantic mood. It's just
So before we move on from this, anybody see the movie Big?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doesn't he look like Voltar?
A little bit, yeah.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
But
he is.
so
Has
Can you make me young again, Neil?
or at least make me Tom Hanks.
Right.
Has anybody mentioned the spreadsheet behind Joshua yet? Did I miss all that?
no, the
I don't
spreadsheet
think
is
I'm the only one getting made fun of here.
because Josh is on brand.
The very on brand, but he deserves to be made fun of for that.
Listen, I'm impressed he was able to actually get the green screen thing to work. That shit never works for me.
He's had some pretty badass ones, especially with like his Patriot stuff. You know, as much as I hate to see it, it's pretty awesome actually.
Okay, I have to do it now. If I see any Patriot shit on here, you're getting booted. This Dolphin fan will not tolerate that.
That took no time. Neither did that.
So
listen.
So Neil, what we were discussing right before you came in is I asked Justin, how patient are you when you go to a restaurant? Like for example, this evening I went to Beef O'Brady, sat down, and it took about 30 minutes for the waitress to come over and to take my order for my meal. They weren't super busy, but they weren't dead, right? So like, you know, they had some patrons in there, but it wasn't like overloaded. So
George roboted out there. So what I'm gonna say is George froze, so I'm gonna take over a little bit. Yeah, you did, but it's okay. I'll take over. So I'm gonna say, here's the thing: am I staying to eat?
Yes.
Is that I'm saying eat? Then I'm patient as fuck because I don't want shit in my food. Like I'm patient as fuck. If I'm leaving, like I wouldn't wait 30 minutes though. By the time 30 minutes hits, I'm paying for the beverages and I'm walking out. Like that's it. I can't stay that long.
Like that's what I want to know. Like, at what point do you draw the line to say I'm going to get up and walk out? That like I'm not waiting any longer.
20 minutes is too long.
I don't know. Does the place have a bar?
Yeah, it's Beef O'Brady's.
Yeah, I don't have that here, but so
okay. Sorry. Yes, it is.
Well, listen, he's all that. Remember, he doesn't know what beefs is.
Are you talking like a Capitol Grill style? I mean, because I don't go lower than that. Is all Justin's thinking.
What I'm saying is like I would just keep getting up to walk to the bar and order what I want. I'd go up and get my drinks first, and then I'd go up and get my appetizer. Before you know it, all of my tip is going to the bartender. It will not take long for the servers to see that and be like, "Oh, hey, there goes my tip."
So that was the thing. We already had the drinks. She did come and get our drinks right away. It's just she disappeared for like 30 minutes before we could get our food order. Josh, let me throw it to you. How about you? How long are you waiting before you get up?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I'm kind of cursed. And people, I say that, and people are like, okay, sure. Because everyone has problems when they order something goes wrong. You wait a while, they get your order wrong. No, I'm cursed.
Okay, but how long are you waiting to
I've
place
come
your
to deal
order
with.
before
So
you get up and walk out?
I'm getting there. Do you have somewhere to be? Like
It's only an hour-long show, man.
I say we only got an hour for you to
There's
answer
six.
one question.
There's
I
six
know
of
we
us.
have all these questions to get to, but I mean,
George
give me a
forgot to
minute.
take his ADHD medicine.
So I am very patient because I'm used to it, is what I'm trying to say. But even so, I think 20 minutes is a long time to not be checked in at all. Now, you did get to order your drinks first, so you made a mistake letting her get away. I mean, when she came back with the drinks, you should have been ready with the food. You should have known. So,
I can accept that
is
responsibility.
Is there a way to listen to this podcast at 2.5 speed? Can I do that live? Is there a way to do that live?
Mike, how about you? How long are you waiting before you get up and walk out?
So I had this really nice speech about how patient I'm going to be, and I know my girlfriend tuned in, so she ain't gonna let me deal with that. In about 16 minutes, I started making passive aggressive loud noises. No, honestly, it really does depend on the place. Like if I see somebody flustered, like, you know, when someone brings you your drinks and you can see the waiter or waitress has like 45 things on their mind, totally cool. If I see you and the hostess talking about, you know, your night the night before or anything like that, I'm certainly getting a little more irritated. So it definitely depends on the situation for me. And if you already gave me a drink, I'm good for a little while. It's the whole, like, no one's even acknowledged me, where I get nervous that they don't know I even exist. That's really where I lose patience more than anything else. But once I'm on a tab, like once things are rolling and once I have a drink, then it comes down to the situation. Like if you have someone, I've worked in the restaurant industry. So if I could tell like someone banged out, I'm going to be a lot more patient because you're doing your best. Like, you know, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, like you get that like flustered, like fast talk when they come back, you know, we're cool. If I'm the only one in the restaurant, yeah, I mean, come on. What else you got to do? But it's funny because, like, you know, when I've gone different places, like when I've traveled, I've noticed it's definitely a different speed than up here. You know, George, you know, you're from the area, like things are faster here. And I almost had to get used to that, especially in like Europe. Where I didn't realize for the first couple of times I went out, they won't bring you your check unless you asked. And I was sitting there for like 2.5 hours trying to be polite. So, yeah, I think the situation matters so much. But in a Beef O'Brady's and a Buffalo Wild Wings or something like that, yeah, I mean, what else you got to do? It's not, you know, it's not like people are ordering special stuff or whatever. So
now who's big time? Oh, that time I went to Europe.
It's a plane ride, Jason. It's called travel too. If you book it.
When I was dining with the Queen, and she was all like, "Hello."
Yeah, so if y'all have seen Bridgerton, like that's how, you know, I met my girlfriend. We're at the ball, and the Queen introduced us and said that she thought we were the gems of the night. Yeah, no, that's pretty normal, right? That's not how you guys did it.
That's romantic.
Yeah,
that is, yeah.
So Neil, how about you? We're going to get to you finally here. How long are you waiting after you get your drinks before they come take your meal, before you just are ready to get up and walk out?
I think it depends if I have my kids with me or not. So like, if I have my kids with me, I don't have any patience. It's like, we got to go. Come on, let's get this moving. But if I don't have my kids, I can be a little more patient. I'm not like a restaurant diva or anything, so I don't need to like be. I don't even honestly like when I'm at a restaurant, the waitress coming to me a lot. Now, is everything okay? Is everything okay? I don't even like that. So, I mean, if you just come once, take the order in like 15, 20 minutes, and you don't come back the rest of the day, I'm okay. But I don't like sitting in places for 30, 40 minutes, especially if I have my kids. I don't even like eating out with my kids.
Neil's like, man, we're going to break this down even further. I don't even like my kids. Fuck you kids.
I made some life mistakes, man. Let's just talk about that for a while.
Hey, listen, I'll say it now. Going to the movie theater, but like when it was cool to go to a movie theater, like going by yourself is the greatest.
It's a game changer.
It's like I've got no problem with anybody who ever goes to a movie theater by themselves. Like turn your phone off. Nobody there to bug you. Nobody there to nag you. Even when you take your wife and kids with you to the movie theater, they're still going to ask you questions. They're going to want to get up to go to the bathroom, and they're going to want to have to squeeze by you. And no, going by yourself, amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I go. That's a good point. Like I go to dinner by myself a lot. Like I'm just like screw it, man. And if that's the case, I'm in no rush. I am literally like I am as cool as can be. Like I ain't planning on going anywhere anyway. So you know, if I get the house to myself and I go out to dinner, take your time. I got nowhere to be. I'm good with it.
See, I think that's one of my biggest problems now is since COVID, I don't think I've had an hour in my house alone. Like my kids are always here. My wife's, you know, my wife's here when I go to work. She's here when I get home from work. Like I never have an hour. So I'll hang out on the internet at work for an extra half hour just so I can have some me time with the doors always closed and nobody around.
So Jason used to do that when he was hourly, and he would get paid to do that. But now that he's salary, it's on the house.
I always punched out when I stole internet.
When I stole internet. All right, so let's shift real quick over to. I guess there's a couple of football games this weekend. I want to go around the wheel here. We'll start with Jason, seeing his Tampa Bay Bucks are actually playing, and the rest of our crappy teams are all eliminated. Jason, give me some playoff winners for this weekend for both the AFC and the NFC games.
Packers, Bills.
Packers, Bills.
Packers, Bills. Yeah, listen, I love the Bucks. I have football PTSD as a Bucks fan. Any week that we pass another is just a build up for another letdown. So I love Tampa. I've been a fan since I was little, and my dad took me to a Tampa versus Washington game in the old Sombrero. And on the old hard-ass bleachers, the shittiest stadium of all time. And my dad was trying to get me to be a Redskin fan because he was a Redskin fan. He kind of grew up in the Virginia area. And I fell in love with an orange creamsicle jersey, and that was it. But being a Buck fan, I know how this season ends with the Tampa Bay great Tom Brady throwing a couple interceptions up in the cold. I'm happy Vita Vea is playing. Like, he broke his ankle, and that 340-pound dude is back on the field in the same season. That's cool. AB's out. Like, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to throw it all over this defense, and I think Green Bay is going to take it.
All right, Mike. What about you?
Packers.
Some predictions for the weekend.
Yeah, it's Packers, Bills. I think that realistically, when you look at it, the one team, sorry, Jason, that I think is the biggest concern is the Bucks. I think the Chiefs and Bills are going to have a run at it. I just think the Bills' defense looks so solid against Baltimore. Granted, Lamar Jackson kind of does that sometimes, makes people look good. But that defense looked great. Josh Allen and Diggs look like they're on a mission, and I just think that that's really where we're looking at our Super Bowl. The thing that would shock me is if the Bucks pulled it out. To be honest, I just think the Packers, man, looked like world beaters last week. I mean, they were the ones. If you looked at all the teams, if you really took a look at the games, they were the ones that looked like they belonged there over anyone else. I mean, the Bills, when you looked at it, they struggled on offense. And, the red zone interception certainly changed that game. Like, they didn't look like world beaters. They looked like a very strong team. The Bucks, let's be honest, Drew Brees handed them that game. And I made a statement on another podcast. I got everyone angry, so let's just do it again. If Taysom Hill is starting for the Saints, they're playing this weekend. Let's just call it what it is. If Taysom Hill was the quarterback they were playing, the Bucks couldn't get anything going on offense until they were given a short field. Drew Brees handed them the game.
Let me ask you this: if they started Jameis Winston this weekend against Tampa, do you think that they're
no?
No,
I think James Winston probably throws the same types of interceptions. He's really good at that.
Yeah.
As everyone wants to quote the 30 touchdowns. Let's not forget the 30 picks.
Well, that was pretty LASIK. That was pretty LASIK, though.
I know. Maybe his eyes are better. But no, with what the New Orleans defense was doing on Sunday, a game manager was what they needed. They were going to win the Super Bowl like the Trent Dilfer Ravens did if they were going to go anywhere. And unfortunately, Breeze couldn't even be that. The mistakes are what killed him. So I don't want Winston under center. I think he'd probably make similar mistakes. But Taysom Hill doesn't throw the ball enough to throw that many interceptions. And I think if you looked at those 2 interceptions at the end of the half, if those don't happen, I think the Bucs night just gets worse in the second half. I think he breathed life into that team. And if he hadn't done that, I didn't think they'd be here right now. And I don't see Aaron Rodgers doing that. I just don't see. He's got 50 touchdowns and 10 picks across the season and postseason. I don't see him handing the Bucs a short field, so I don't see them winning this one.
How many of those interceptions were against Tampa when they played, though? Because I think it was at least 2. I mean, and listen, I'm not saying they're going to win. I can't say that the Bucs are going to win, but there was a game early in the season. Both teams are playing differently now, right? So if AB was on the field, I'd actually like the Tampa Bay's chances a good bit better. I like Scotty Miller. Don't get me wrong; he's not AB. I like Tyler Johnson. He's not AB. But what do you think, Josh? down there all quiet, not making predictions.
I'll stick with my pre-playoffs prediction of Bucks Chiefs. I understand what you're saying about the Saints, and I even agree that if Taysom Hill was playing, they probably would have won that game. But this isn't the Saints defense. So I think that was about the only team that really had it out for Brady. I think you're going to see a classic Brady game, and I don't know. I feel like sometimes Rodgers is just do one of these games where he has a bad game and blames everyone else and gets angry at everyone else.
And a lot of
just
times it's in the
always
NFC
happens.
Championship game, right?
Yeah. So you keep saying that what we saw in the end of that game with the Saints and the Bucks. I've watched Brady a long time. I'm a Patriots fan.
I'm sorry. We all have our flaws.
So
Hey,
he steps up to whatever is needed. So just because we saw what we saw at the end of the game in the situation it was, doesn't mean that if they didn't throw those picks, Brady wouldn't have stepped up and done something else still to win. You know what I'm saying? So I think we'll see. That's the game I want to watch. I mean, the Bills, yeah, good for them, but the Chiefs are going to win.
Neil, throwing it to you. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I got to give Jason props because as a Buccaneers fan, to not pick his team is crazy to me. As a Raiders fan, I couldn't put the bias aside. If the Raiders were in this right now, I'd be like, Raiders, obviously. So
He's just
I'm a
Tom
realistic
Brady and Aaron
fan.
Rodgers at the same time, and I would still pick the Raiders. So, yeah, respect to you, Jason. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go who I want to see win. I want to see the Bucks win. I do want to see like this whole thing pay off for Tom Brady. Like when it happened, when he made that move, everyone thought, well, Bill Belichick's gonna get the last laugh. This isn't gonna play out well for Brady. And the fact that he's there and Bill's not, like, I just want to see it finish this way. So I'm gonna say the Bucks, and then I can't pick the Chiefs because obviously I'm a Raiders fan. So I'm gonna say the Bills. So can you imagine?
You can't set your bias aside. You can't set the bias aside for this one, could you?
Can't do it. Although seeing Mahomes versus Brady would be amazing, like the passing of the torch type of thing. So it would be amazing for the optics. But as a Raiders fan, I can't, honestly say I want the Chiefs to be in the Super Bowl. So
Justin, throwing it to you after you're done throwing us sign language and gang signs.
well, his cameraman needs to make sure he's got the good lighting.
Camera guy just walked in front of the lighting. No, I obviously this is a very laid back show, so I'm not too concerned about the lighting. As a matter of fact, it only makes me look like.
Can you just talk down about our show?
He did. He said, if I wasn't slumming with you guys, I'd care a lot more.
Guys, you just invited Justin from toilets to titles on your show. I don't think you have a very high bar for guests. No, so besides that light makes me look like that Powder character from the movie Powder.
baby face over here.
Yeah, and I'm wearing a black shirt to go with it, so it really stands out. But I'm going to stick with my also stick with my my pre-playoff picks, and when I chose the Packers over the Bills, mostly because the Bills losing the Super Bowl is kind of their thing. That's kind of what they do. I know it's been a while, but it's almost comical to see it happen again. So that's a big hope for me. But I still don't know. Obviously, the Chiefs are going to be a tough team to beat for the Bills, but I love that Buffalo team. They're so fun to root for, so fun to watch. And then with the Packers, I'm a big Colts fan, obviously, first and foremost. But those of you that watch the show know that I always cheer for the Packers as well, kind of like as my NFC team. But Aaron Rodgers, everybody likes to talk about how he chokes, but he did still win a Super Bowl, so he does have the capability. And I don't think that the Bucs are. I mean, they're definitely better now than they were at the start of the season, but I don't think that they're enough to get past the Pack.
All right.
So the one thing that has thrilled me more than anything else in this playoffs is the end of the Saints. Like, they're done. They 90 to 100 million in cap hell, plus the cap may shrink. And
if at the hands of anybody but Tom Brady's defense, then I would have agreed.
no, I'm just saying, like, who they have to pay this year, and with what salary cap position they're in. Like, I think this is it for them for a while.
Yeah.
And thank God, by the way.
So I want to get. I'm going to start with Justin on this one. I'm sorry. Let's still go to Josh. We just went to Justin. Josh, I want to get your opinion. Deshaun Watson, does he stay in Texas with the Texans, or does he get traded? And if he gets traded, where do you think he's going to?
If it was up to just Watson, I don't think he's staying. The problem is to do a trade, you need someone on the other side. And I don't know if there's any teams out there who are willing to give up what the team is willing to accept. Now, the problem is that Watson has a no trade clause. So he has leverage as well. So there's a combination of things where he's only going to go somewhere he wants to go. But if he says you have to trade me or else, they might have to take a lower offer than what they'd like to. Look, your Dolphins are one of the prime places. If they decide to pull an Arizona Cardinals and just give up on the Tua project after 1 year, they may have what they need to go out and get him. Obviously, there's all of the guys with high picks, Jets being the other that's a popular option. I don't know what teams are really willing to pay up that much that Watson would also be willing to go to.
It couldn't be the Jets, right? Like Watson couldn't go. You know what I want from the team that should have the third pick in the draft? I want to go to the team with the second pick in the draft. That's what I want.
What about
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. What about the 49ers? I mean, are they ready to give up on Jimmy G? I think he'd be a great fit right there.
I think they should have given up on Jimmy G a long time ago, personally.
I think they should have, but do you think they will? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what their cap space looks like. I'm not that nerdish. I don't get into all that, but
they can make it work on the cap. They just don't. They don't have what it takes to get him. I mean, the thing is, he's going to the AFC East, and it's going to be the Jets or the Dolphins, plain and simple. Whoever gets him, and I think it will be the Jets, will be a playoff team. Because the thing about the Niners, right, is what are they going to send? You're not going to send over Jimmy G in 12 and be able to touch, say, Darnold 2 and 23 or Tua 3 and 18. It just won't happen. Like the packages aren't nearly comparable. So while, when you look at fit, the Niners, Washington football team and Carolina are the best fits, this isn't a free agent. This is a trade.
I agree with that in a vacuum too, but we also don't know exactly how toxic that situation in Houston is.
Oh, it's extremely toxic. I mean, the owners
already switched beers.
What's that?
You've already switched beers?
Oh yeah, it's a podcast. I don't know why we're not
jumping around. I like it. That's impressive.
Yeah, no, I didn't know we were sipping. My bad.
I pay attention to what people are drinking. I'm sorry. I noticed that you already switched, and that's impressive. George has his water going on up there, and I believe Josh had some kind of a whiskey or a bourbon or something down there.
Rum and Dr. Pepper, we found out, which is sounds actually really nice.
Neil, what do you get on this whole show?
Justin, what do you think about the Colts, man? Rivers retired.
I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. I'm so.
No, here's what I think's gonna happen. We're gonna get Watson's gonna go to Miami. Stafford's gonna end up in Indianapolis. Matt Ryan's gonna end up in San Francisco. Boom, done.
I'm okay with that. Where's Fitz going? Because I'd kind of like to see Fitz come to Indy.
New England.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh.
I don't like this. I'm pretty whatever on it, but it makes sense.
It's an upgrade from Cam Newton, all right?
I'll tell you what, Fitz goes to New England, Mac Jones goes to New England at number 15, and they bridge. That's how it's going to go down. So, yeah, I love Stafford to the Colts. Sounds perfect. What's that?
And then pushed out again.
If you put Stafford behind that offensive line, that's a Super Bowl contending team.
Oh yeah, I agree.
No question.
So NFL, whatever you guys have to do, let's get that shit done. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun off season for sure. Jason, what you got? What you got? You got anything?
I mean, I didn't know who we were having on, so I would have come up with like ask the Mormon questions for Neil. Or that's a long time joke between me and Neil, by the way. That's a 5-year Neil's a Mormon. He doesn't drink alcohol. Say again?
You know what we need to do? We need to get Neil to send Mike a wristband for his wall.
Yeah, that's true. You got any more of those podcasts
for me? Ask the Mormon, and we'll just do a segment every week.
That's fine.
But I get in trouble by the Mormon community for being a fake Mormon.
Mike,
It's possible. I don't know.
I was thinking Quakers. I was like, they don't have electricity, and then I forgot.
They're
My bad.
forgiving.
I got confused.
Same thing.
But you have to have magic underwear on in the background.
I was gonna say, yeah,
I don't know what that is.
you got flashy underwear a little bit.
It's a Mormon thing. You should know.
Oh, is it? Okay.
You're a bad Mormon.
I am a bad Mormon. I'm just here for the ambience.
he
the blue light.
might not be a Mormon, Jason. That could be why he's a bad one.
That's it.
No, I don't think that's it at all.
You don't think that's it?
No, I know Neil a little bit. I just
sling
think
bracelets. That's it. That's all I do.
I'm pretty sure.
Are they like snap bracelets? Like what kind of bracelets are we
No, they're
talking
not
about?
nothing fancy, man. They're just
The silicone,
You know, the little silicone, like cancer sucks bracelets that people wear.
Yeah,
Those
I
kind.
dig it. I mean, I'm mostly stickers, as you can tell. Like I'm a big sticker guy, but bracelets is dope too.
I'm gonna have to send you a
Podcast-
sticker and a wristband. How about that?
Oh, I dig it, man. You get right up on the wall. We're trying to load up that background. I still got room up top there, so
I got you. I'm sending your way.
Gil, do you have a bedazzler? Is that you're over there making bracelets?
Nah, I don't have the bedazzler. I have to upgrade. I need people to order bracelets. I can upgrade all kinds of
I'm waiting for Neil to go to bracelets with beads, and then we can accuse him of making his kids work in the sweatshop to make them for him.
Yeah.
Put them to work.
Listen, I'm working
Is
on
it a clock dodger? Serious question. Is it a clock dodgers bracelet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bracelet that says I'm a clock dodger, and there's like
All right,
Kids
I'll order
ain't
one.
dodging no clocks.
dig
I'll
it.
find it for him.
I'll order one.
All right, and I'll just send you one. Just don't tell nobody.
You're never gonna make money if you just send it out.
That's a bad sales job right there, bro. You had a guaranteed sale.
You've had a sale.
Well, listen,
Neil gets-
Justin had me on his show, and honestly, he told me I had to give him one to be on the show. So that's the truth. That was the
Bribe
thing.
to be on.
I was going to say,
I
Neil
mean-
gets all that sweet podcast money from the shaving company, the ball shaving company.
Disrespectful. That's all you can call him.
I can't remember their name.
Manscaped,
I'm the
man.
Mormon.
They don't pay.
They're not
They
sponsored.
don't pay us.
They don't
But
pay neither.
I'm not saying what they are. You want to pay me? I'll call you what you want to be called. Until then, you're the ball shavers.
Oh man.
Oh, by the way, we're on the subject. If you guys use the promo code CIRCLE with Thrive Fantasy, we will match your $50 donation.
No.
Donation.
Yeah, you guys ain't good at betting. Come on, let's call it what it is.
Oh, I also got the beanies too. You guys can order those too.
I don't look good in a beanie. I can tell you that my head's.
Oh, well,
my
are
head's
we
too
doing
big.
merch? Because I
Come
have
on.
V-necks and I got baseball tees.
Bust it
and-
all out, man. That's what we're on the show for.
Yeah, I didn't know we were pumping all our shit. So anyway, hey,
We're
well,
just here to sell our
while we're
stuff.
here, let me check this one out, right? And then that one my own personal one, so I get all the merch. But that one right there is the website. So yeah, no, hit me up. 20% discount tonight only. Use Ball Shaver as your promo code.
Neil, you need to get a face shaver sponsorship.
I do, right?
I think
on my
Justin
way.
has one.
I will say Neil has always had one of the most impressive beards. As long as I've known this man, his beard game is top notch.
It's the
I
money.
give him all the credit for that.
I make a lot of fun of him, but he really does look like a genie.
Oh yeah. I see it.
Yeah,
We need the wrap. The
my
turban
first
one.
wish. My
No,
first
it
wish
was-
is a ball shaver sponsorship. Can we get
He
that?
lives in Florida. It's probably not a good thing for him to walk around with a turban on his head.
No. His HOA would kick him out.
It's not good to walk around Florida. Period.
It'd be like, listen, you can't pray east here, man.
I gave up
I'll
on
be
my
honest
HOA
with you.
and they let George in. Once they let George in, I knew anybody can come in.
This is true. This is absolutely true. They did let me through the gate.
They didn't even call. They weren't like, "Hey, there's this guy here." There was like,
They didn't call. Seriously, they didn't call
No,
you.
I'm sure they called.
Okay.
I had you on the list, man. You know,
Listen, I seen my name on a list already.
I had it on the list. I said he's coming at 5. Just keep the gate open for him.
Neil, as a ball cancer survivor, I can honestly tell you, I am never going to try that shit because I cannot take my chances. I've only got one left, man.
I respect it, man. You can still use the deodorant and stuff. You can still use the ball deodorant or something.
Did you get one? Did you get a nudicle?
No, that dude. They showed me like this brochure of it. I was like, they sell enough of this shit that they have a whole broshure. Like,
Yeah.
you have options.
Do they give you a fake ball?
Yeah,
No,
you can get a nudicle.
nudicle. Yeah, that's what they're called.
It's like a replacement ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I never had one removed. I still have the brochure though.
It's like I kind of like the idea and the feeling that I have of having extra room down there. To be honest with you, like, so it's a lot more free feeling. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just like it.
So how long has it been since you had the cancer?
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to get too deep or anything, but I had it twice. I had it like 7 years ago, and then it came back, but it was the same testicle, but it had traveled through the lymph nodes and attached itself to my kidney. So I had to have chemo that second time because they were like, if it's going to travel through the lymph nodes. So I haven't had any issues for 5 years since that second time, but I've been having a lot of pain here lately. So I actually have to go back to the doctor on Monday to get checked out again. So I'm hoping that it didn't travel through the lymph nodes again because it's the same kind of pain on the same side of the body. And like it, I'm hoping that from what I've read online, it could just be scar tissue from the surgery. So that's what we're hoping for. So we'll see.
I was just getting ready to drop a congratulations, and then you fucked that all up. So, I'll just drop a. We'll probably all be praying for you, except for Neil, who's Mormon and doesn't believe in that.
Yeah. Well, for what it's worth, I'll make sure to keep you and all your listeners up to date on my testicle.
Listen, that's what we're here for. Your testicle.
When this show started,
I can't co-sign that.
I can't. When this show started, I am not 100% sure. I thought we'd be talking about your testicles, but I was pretty sure.
Hey, I just started a new podcast too, and literally the name of it is called The Ball Handler Show. It's singular. On purpose.
He's got to get that spot. Neil, give him your sponsorship.
Hey,
hook the brother up, Neil. Come on.
I mean, he'll never, like you said, he'll never use that thing.
I'll give him my contact.
I mean, can I get at least a discount a little higher than the one you get your listeners?
Come on, man. 20% free shipping. What else do you want?
You know they mark
That's
that
a
shit
good
up
deal.
80%.
That's a good deal.
I'll send you $5 extra. You go ahead and make a purchase.
Send a bracelet. Send him a bracelet with
Send him a
it.
bracelet, a sticker, a beanie.
So I got a bracelet, 4 years ago when we went first shopping for Toys for Tots. I got a bracelet back then. My son still has.
Are you wearing it? If you're not wearing
I'm not wearing it tonight. I didn't know you were going to be on.
Hey,
My
Jason,
son still has that.
When the first time we went Toys for Tots, was that when we got those Pro Bowl tickets?
It was when we got the Pro Bowl tickets. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember. I wasn't sure.
I've got to say. So here's the other thing I wanted to mention too. Like, my wife continually surprises me, so I'd never do this. But I had this little heart to heart with her. We're getting ready to refinance our house on Monday, get a little money and put some money back into the house. And I said, honey, if Tampa wins this week, they're going to be in the Super Bowl in Tampa. And I said, tickets are only $8,500. I said, we're getting that money from the house. And she didn't say no. She actually said,
that's because she's looking for another house.
No, honestly, if I had asked her if I could take the money and go to the show, I think she would have told me yes. Or to the game. I think she would have said yes. And I, being a guy who has never had a ton of money and is actually doing relatively well currently, the broke me said, listen, you can't spend $8,500. That's like new flooring and a whole bunch of other shit. Like, you really just don't do that. So I'm not going to be doing it, but holy shit, she didn't say no.
Is that one ticket?
No, that's for two. That was for a pair.
All right.
So I'm not going to throw this question to Mike or Josh just because. Well, actually, no. I'll throw it to them. I was going to ask if your guys' favorite team, like, so for me, the Dolphins, Neil, the Raiders,
won the Super Bowl. Yeah, me and Josh commute. We do it every year.
Yeah, that's how I was going to exclude you guys from this. If your favorite team went to the Super Bowl and they were playing in your hometown or it was within a reasonable drive to go, would you drop the money to go, Neil?
Probably
They're-
not.
$8,500 is the going rate right now.
Probably not.
Keep
Probably not.
keep in mind that's before you find out Tampa's going to be in it, right? Like imagine what the tickets are going to do
Yeah.
when the hometown team goes.
So, Justin, how about you? If the Colts are playing in the Super Bowl, are you going?
Probably not. I'm a cheap ass. That's a simple answer, but no, I'm not spending that kind of money for anything.
Josh,
Hold on.
go ahead.
Are these tickets only good if Tampa gets in, or they're just tickets to the Super Bowl regardless?
No, these were Ticketmaster a pair of tickets, second level, $8,500 for the pair.
You're not allowed to resell or what?
I'm sure you can resell them. They're not. Yeah, I'm sure you can resell them.
Okay,
But-
so buy them.
Oh, buy them and turn around and sell them when Tampa goes, right?
You just said it. No matter what happens, the price is going up.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. That's a good point. I should have bought them.
So
We're closing. We close Monday though, so I gotta wait.
I'm not lying. If the Dolphins ever go to the Super Bowl in my lifetime, and the Super
You don't
Bowl,
have to worry about that.
if the Super Bowl's in Miami, I'm going. Listen, I'm not going to be around forever, right? Like there are things on my bucket list I absolutely want to do, and watching my favorite football team play in the Super Bowl in their home city, which is only a 2.5 hour drive from me, like I can replace the money, right? Like it's just money. You can't take that shit with you when you're dead. Fucking when you die, that flooring is not gonna matter. Give me the fucking Super Bowl tickets and let me take my son and we'll go have a great fucking weekend.
The Mega Millions are up to $1 billion right now, so when I hit that shit tonight, I'm gonna own the Colts anyway. So
How about you, Mike? We never really did get an answer from you. Patriots are going to Super Bowl in New England.
$8,500? Hell no. I mean, we've broken curses. We've done everything there is to do. I wouldn't pay $8,500 for another one. Nah, man, I'm good.
And that's the reason why I almost wanted to exclude you and Josh because
For this exact reason, yeah.
so recently and so frequently
And
that
also in New England, it's
Freezing.
not
Yeah.
happening.
No,
listen,
So-
they played it in New York.
I'll tell you.
That rules this out right away. It's
I'll tell
not
you
happening.
a fun
in
fact,
England.
right? I've been to one professional football game in my life. One. I just Foxborough Stadium was hot garbage before Gillette came in, and the prices went through the roof when Gillette started. And I got lucky enough to see one game, and the game that I saw was the overtime game of Chiefs and Pats when Brady beat Mahomes in overtime. So yeah, I'm pretty good just kind of calling it a one and done with that game. That game was dope. I mean, that was like, of all the games you're going to see, right? I saw one of the best regular season games that have ever been played at Gillette. But overall, no, I think the Super Bowl has become more of a social event and less of a football game. And to be quite honest, I just prefer watching football on TV. Like I'm a guy who will rewind. I'm a guy who will like watch the blocking schemes. I want to know what happened, and looking live, especially when you're in the bowl, like looking down, you're looking at a different angle. Like there's really no way to tell what happened with the actual game itself. So not only am I not buying tickets, like when the Pats are playing, I don't invite my friends over. Like just leave me alone. It's me and my television, and I'm watching it, and I want to see like all of the details around the game. So I don't even want the viewing experience that you're looking for. So you ask me to pay $8,500 to enjoy the game less. I'm cool. I'm more than cool. Like I'm much happier having my DVR going back. Like, hey, who missed that block? Did they hit his arm? What caused the interception? Like I prefer that experience anyway. So there's no way I'm going to pay money to have a worse experience.
And I'm 100% with you. If I could watch every game by myself, I would be home watching it in the quiet house. I watch most of the games now with my dad, and I love watching games with my dad because who knows how long I'm going to get to do that, right? So
Jason, you could take your dad to the Super Bowl. to watch the
Yeah,
Bucks.
so here's the problem. We would go every year. We would go to a game every year. He's at the point now where he can't really get up in the stadium. He's physically not able. But
I bet you if you told him it was the Super Bowl, he would do it.
watching it with my dad, like you were talking about, it's great. Except my dad's the kind of guy who will sit and watch the commercials and then talk during the game. So that. So I love him. I love watching it with him. But if I could do it alone, I probably would. I just don't, because like, how long am I going to have this, right? Especially with him getting, with his health not being as great as it used to be. So I'm with you. I would love to go. I'd love to go. And I just was surprised she was actually kind of okay with it. Like I feel like if I just said, hey, I'm going to this game, she'd be like, okay, go. Mm-hmm. And that's a great wife. I love her to death now, but not that I didn't before. But
no, you just started. You just said it. You said I loved her to death now. So before that, you didn't, and it's okay. She's not listening.
I gotta go. I gotta go now because after this we're gonna be 18 more years of shit football. The only thing I've been saying it from the beginning. Tom Brady's gonna be the quarterback for the Bucks for the next 2 years, and he's gonna retire. And then Aaron Rodgers is going to come down and play for us for a couple of years, and then he's going to retire. And it's going to
home for the NFL.
Listen, if they keep bringing us to the playoffs, I will take it every year.
So, Neil, how many games have you seen live? So I think you went, was it last year? I think, or maybe it was earlier. Yeah,
a couple years ago, the Raiders went to all Florida games: Bucks, Dolphins, Jags. I went to all three of them that year.
Nice.
And I did them by myself. I wasn't bringing no kids. I wasn't bringing nobody with me.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah. So I had, 3 nice road trips, just kind of going there, figuring it all out and watching the games. I think the Raiders won all 3 games too. Actually beat your Bucks. It was great in overtime. I think it was Jason. So yeah, it's kind of cool when you do that. Like when you just buy a random ticket and go to these games. Cause like, you don't know where you're going to sit, like who you're sitting with. And like, I'm just sitting with Dolphins fans or Bucks fans. It's kind of weird, but it's kind of fun at the same time. So yeah, I went to all 3 that year. I've gone a couple years before that. I went to the game whenever the Raiders are in Florida. I always go to it basically. I've gone to Dolphins games because I'm in West Palm, so I've just gone there randomly for Dolphins games. But yeah, most times it doesn't end well for the Raiders. At least not the last 10 years that I've gone. But I go for the hell of it. I just can't stand losing in Miami with their songs and shit. It drives me crazy.
I will listen. I love my Dolphins, but I will say that the music they play during the games is super annoying.
The Miami Dolphins. Oh God,
I agree. Listen, I love my Dolphins, but it's the worst.
It's the worst when you like the opposing team and they're like shoving the ball down your throat. You're like, oh my God, this is terrible.
So the only time I ever did enjoy that is when me, my dad, and my brother went to the New England versus Miami game. It was probably about 4 or 5 years ago now, and the whole way down there, my Dolphins were garbage the whole year, and all I heard is from the whole time from my brother and my dad is about how bad New England was going to whip Miami. Mm-hmm. Miami won the game, and boy, it was great. I enjoyed every minute of that game, even the songs I was singing. It was phenomenal. The whole car ride back was super quiet. They didn't have a whole lot to say. That game I thoroughly did enjoy. But typically, when I go to a Dolphins game, I'm with you. The music that they play is really fucking annoying.
The stadium is nice now, though, man. Have you gone recently?
The last time I went, I think was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I forget when they redid the stadium, but it's super nice. The last time the Raiders played, I went there. I was surprised. I thought I was in the wrong place. I was like, where the hell am I at?
But then you watched the Dolphins play, and you were like, nope, I'm in the right spot.
Oh, this is crazy. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. I won't go to the Super Bowl, but yeah, any games in Florida, I'll go to for sure.
Josh, how many games you been to? 0.
Well, where I grew up was not close. I mean, I was up in Maine, so it was nowhere close to anything. And now I live in Eagles territory, and I'm not going to go see that trash. So,
living in Eagles territory, I want to say yes, I agree. Don't go to a New England Eagles game because they're probably going to fucking throw batteries at you. They'll probably dump beer on you. It's just
I go down to like Baltimore Orioles Red Sox games, but football. No. I want it on the TV.
Justin, how about you? How many games you been to? Any?
I've actually been to a lot.
That's what I'm talking about.
Probably well more than a dozen, but most of mine are usually free or I get invited or I just I find a way.
Big time.
A lot of big time.
No, actually, I won one. The probably most memorable actual game was when the Colts played the Chiefs in the playoffs, and we won by 6 points at the end of the game. That one was pretty wild. It was exciting. My favorite games I took the last 3 games I went to were actually Lions games that I took my son to because he's a big Lions fan. So we watched them play at Ford Field against the Niners. I took him to the game in Indy against the Colts, and then we went to Cincinnati to watch them play the Bengals. So we're kind of traveling around to different stadiums so he can see his Lions play. So and the best part about that is the gas money to get to the stadiums costs more than the tickets. Watching Lions games on the road.
So you've seen like a dozen or so games. How many did both balls make it to?
Actually, most of them. I think there's only. I think the last 2 or 3 are the only ones because I've only been to 2 or 3 games in the last 7 years, and that or 5, 7 years, and that was the ones I took my son to. So,
did they let you keep it?
No, it wasn't even an option. I was pissed. I woke up, I was still groggy, and I was mad at them because, and like at first, you do the whole thing where you check to make sure they took the right one. But then after that, or well, in this case, the left one. But then after that, you're pissed that they didn't even let you put it in a jar and take it home. And like I was going to put a bow on the top of the jar and everything. And I was going to display that shit like grandma in the urn on the mantle. Like, I was gonna be proud of that.
See, I'd sneak it in my wife's purse every chance I got, so then I could be like, yeah, she does get to keep it.
Yeah. Well, one more story I do want to say real quick about games I've been to. So I was 19 years old, so fresh out of high school. We got married young. We already had a kid by 19. We had absolutely no money to speak of, and I took everything we had. I went out of my way to not pay rent for 2 months because Randy Moss was coming to town in Indianapolis, and I wanted to see Randy Moss and the Vikings play against the Colts. And I was so excited. It was a Monday night football game. I spent like $650 on these tickets, and they were good seats. Like, we were down low. So I was so excited. And then we got to the stadium, and during pregame warmups, Randy Moss tweaked his hamstring and didn't even play.
Oh,
That
That's gotta be the worst.
I can tell you the worst thing that happened to me at a game is I took my wife over in the Tampa area to watch a concert. Not a band I really like, but Hall & Oates. It's like her favorite band. So we've probably seen them 4 times. She loves the freaking band. So we go over there. We stay overnight Saturday night. We watch the concert, and we're over there. And she the next day she's like, "Well, why don't we? The Bucks are playing the Panthers. I've already called my parents. They're going to watch the kids a little extra. Why don't we go see the game?" I'm like, "Okay, but we don't have tickets." And she's like, "Well, why don't you go talk to the people that you're scalping tickets?" I'm like, "Okay, cool." So we get down there. I've got like $250 in my pocket. And we walk up to somebody and we're like, "Hey, what kind of seats you got?" And they told me, and they're like, I said, "How much?" And they're like, like $250. And my wife's like, "That's exactly how much we have." I'm like, "Well, fuck, you just ruined that. Now I'm paying $250." We should have just moved on, but at that point the game was about to start, and I gave him the money. It was the best seats I've ever had, because usually I sit in the nosebleeds. I like sitting up top at the Buck Stadium because you can see the whole field real well. Sometimes when you get down a little close, like Justin was saying, or like Mike was saying, you don't get to see everything that happens. So I like sitting up close, but we were down, pretty close in the bottom row, or the bottom section. So it was cool, but we just spent way too much money on it, and it's just my wife not knowing what to do in a situation.
Yeah, your wife screwed you there. Oh, look, just happened to have $250. The game's going to start. You probably could have got those for $150.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was getting ready to get them at half for sure.
So we're coming up on an hour here. Before we go, I got just 2 more things I want to ask the panel here. We'll start with Neil. What is your 2021 New Year's resolution? Did you have any?
I don't really have any. Nothing. I don't. There's nothing that I was planning ahead of time. I just want you to be better, man. For everybody. So I don't really have no
personal goals for the year.
No personal goals, man. Fuck it, it's overrated. I can't
Right.
I can't sit here and make yearly goals like that. But just for everything, overall, just for everybody, for the family, for everyone out there, just just be happier, be nicer, be kinder, and just live, as good as you can. But nothing crazy that I set for myself. Just do better every day, man. My goals are everyday goals. Just do better than you did yesterday. You know what I mean? So I don't think about it from a year perspective. I don't think that far ahead sometimes. But yeah. Plus, New Year's is my birthday. I'm not really thinking about what am I gonna do better.
Really? Your birthday's the 31st.
Yeah. No, the first.
The
January
first.
1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
My,
so I'm not thinking.
my father-in-law, God rest his soul, his was the 31st. So he used to tell me every year, look, the whole world's celebrating my birthday tonight.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
like,
how I look at it.
Josh, how about you? Did you have any New Year's resolutions?
No, not really.
You guys are just so, man, life of the party. Justin,
more-
save me, please. Tell me you
More
had
YouTube videos.
more YouTube videos. Justin, did you have any New Year's resolutions? Any goals for this coming year?
I saw John was chiming in a minute ago. I don't know if he's still watching, but he'll tell you that I'm not a goal-oriented guy either. I mean, that's why at 38 years old, I'm a substitute teacher with Fantasy Football Podcast. And when I get out to my truck, I'm going to be trying to dig for enough change to buy some more Mega Million lottery tickets.
Mike, take it home, Mike. Tell me you had a New Year's resolution.
I already fucked it up. I already screwed it up because what I told myself was I would be better at choosing the podcast that I went on and not end up on many disasters. And legitimately, I made it 22 days, and yet here we are. So I mean, I guess I'll try better next year. No, I don't. I don't do that, man. I figure if I want to change something in my life, I don't wait to someday on the calendar. I just kind of do it. So yeah, no, I just want to get the hell out of my house. I'm bored. So it'd be pretty cool to get out of the house every once in a while.
I say Florida after tonight going to the restaurant, like, yeah, it's almost the Wild West down here.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, and up here, it's everything's so tight that like even if you were feeling like you can go out, which I don't, I have people I got to take care of, but everything's just so tight. It's just not the same. Like it's just a constant reminder. And when I'm home, I can kind of forget about it for a little while, which is cool. So I don't do much, but yeah, I mean, for this year, realistically, I just kind of hoping stuff gets a little better. I mean, that was really it, right? New Year's kind of passed without much happening. So.
Jason, did you have any New Year's goals?
I did. I haven't reached it yet, but I feel like after tonight, I'll probably get there. I vowed to shave my balls more often, and with Neil hooking me up.
Ball talk, man. Even for a guy with a ball sponsor, this is getting out of hand.
With Neil hooking me up with the ball shavers.
What can we say?
No, I the same one as always. I'm gonna get in shape. That's not happening. I'm gonna save some money. That's probably not happening. The big one, spend more time with my family and less time at work. That hasn't happened yet either, but I think I'll get there eventually.
I feel like that last one, spend more time with your family. I feel like that one has happened. I think that one was kind of forced upon you, though.
Well, okay, but not. Spend less time at surfing the internet at work. How about that?
There you go. That's a good one.
When I'm at night after I'm done working, less individual time without just hiding.
All right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up the show for this evening. We'll go around the horn. We'll start with Josh. Go ahead, tell everybody where they can find you. Plug anything you want plugged. Go ahead, sir. The floor is 100% yours.
It's right there at Fusion FFB, Fusion Fantasy Football. It's my podcast, website, whatever. It's all Fusion FFB. Be sure to check out. I just had a video and podcast out where I had Dr. Edwin Porras on. We did talked about injury discounts. It was real awesome show. So people should go check that out.
I will vouch. That was a very good episode. I listened to it today on the way to the doctor's, actually. So, all right, Neil, we're going to throw it to you.
First of all, how come when I'm on Josh's podcast, you guys don't talk about it like that?
Because it's not good.
You You guys are not like, it's an amazing episode. You guys should go
You
listen
know-
to it.
You know what I
Maybe
do like
if you
though?
were a doctor.
Should I just throw a doctor in front of my name and then it just
Yeah.
sounds better?
Yeah.
I'll
Doctor
figure
Clock
out something.
Dodgers.
I'll be
No,
a
so,
doctor or something.
We don't
what I-
fact check. You can do whatever you want. You can call yourself a doctor, PhD, man. I ain't gonna check. You get it.
I'm not sure you.
You know what I like? You know what I like is we talk about plugs and Neil starts stretching. Like he's just now warming up for the show. That's the only part he cares. Okay, this is the reason I came on. Let's do.
I'm here for.
I was talking about his show, not even my own show. All right. At Clock Dodgers, where you see here on the screen. That's where you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all those good places. The podcast is the Clock Dodgers podcast. You could follow it, subscribe to it, leave a review, anything good. I appreciate all the love, appreciation, attention. Anything you guys do, I appreciate it. But yeah, at Clock Dodgers on Twitter. The podcast is called the Clock Dodgers podcast. So that's where I'm at.
All right, Justin.
At Toilets to Titles, that's our fantasy football show. I kind of mentioned the ball handler show that I just started actually tonight. Had our first interview tonight with Blake Beamer, an assistant baseball coach for the Ball State Cardinals. That's why I'm wearing my Ball State apparel right now. He's also a coordinator. I'm sorry, I forget how he's the head recruiter. I forget how he worded it. For Ball State's baseball team as well. So it's a really great interview. He was a walk-on player there as well. So pretty excited about that. And then with the Toilets to Title show, we're going to be dropping an interview with Peter Schultz, who was a walk-on scout player for the Indiana Hoosiers, offensive guard this season. So we got a lot of insight from him on the great season that the Indiana Hoosiers had, which I can only say once every 40 years. So I'm pretty excited about that interview as well. Both of those interviews will be dropping at some point this week. One of them maybe even tonight. So but yeah, just stay in touch, and then my personal Twitter handle at JustinFF_.
And Mike, we're going to throw it to you.
At Date is Home FF on the Twitter. I'm probably on enough of the Sleeperwire shows. Y'all know me by now. Fantasy Intervention is my website with Chase Vernon, Steffi Smalls, and Dave Kluge are the partners on the site. We got about 40 writers. We've been pumping out content kind of nonstop at this point. It's been pretty wild. We had Ian Hartz on today. Throughout the offseason, you see some pretty big names coming through. And then you can catch me every Wednesday night during the season doing starter sit with the hottest guests that we can find that are willing to come on with us, which is, kind of been pretty impressive, the folks we've been able to get. But realistically, what we're looking for right now is check out the YouTube channel. We're pumping out content at a speed that's hard to keep up with. So looking at people subscribe. YouTube.com/fantasy intervention is really where you're going to find all our stuff. We size them properly. So if you're driving to work, we have podcasts for you. If you're sitting there relieving yourself, we have quick shots that are about 5 minutes, depending on what you ate. Might be 1 or 2 you can pop in there, but hit us up there. That's where you can find all our stuff.
All right. And for Jason, you could follow him at BFTG Jason. Oh, go ahead, Jason.
I was gonna say we have this amazing show getting ready to come out. It's got Justin with Toilets to Titles. It's got Neil with Clock Dodgers. It's got Josh with Fusion FFB. It's got Mike with Fantasy Intervention. It's got Dr. Neil with Clock Dodgers. Yeah. So if you wanna follow us, we've got this show coming out. Really great. Got all these great guys on it. And then if you don't want to follow, you can follow me at BFTG Jason on Twitter, and Break from the Grind if we're ever going to do one, George. And then George, take it away from there.
Yeah, Jason and I also do the Break from the Grind podcast. It's something like this, a little bit more organized, a little bit more rated R. It's definitely not safe for work.
Organized? A
little bit more. It's a little more organized than this.
I think you're pushing it there, but okay.
No, there's a show sheet for that. There's no show sheet for this. You can follow me on Twitter at BFTG Pod. You can follow the Sleeperwire at Sleeperwire Show on Twitter. You can follow Sleeperwire on all your major platforms: YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, anywhere really you can get your media content. That's where we are. Again, I want to thank Josh from Fusion FFB, Dr. Neil from Clock Dodgers, Justin from Toilets to Titles, and Mike, a.k.a. Daddy's Home FF from Fantasy Intervention. Appreciate you gentlemen coming on. Absolutely had a blast tonight. And let's get the hell out of here.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, guys.
Guys.